what exactly technology is trying to do. I think questions like this offer an opportunity to kind of figure out ways to think about technology, right? Like just different ways to like cut that concept up and like reorient our relationship to it. And one relationship that we have to technology is that they're inquiring machines, right? Like everything from likes that you put down on your social media content to like the data that your phone is procuring just by like existing or things like that. They're always asking questions and creating databases of knowledge, right? And one of the reasons as to why it's so hard to tell technologists to stop producing technology is because in many ways you're asking them to stop inquiring, right? Stop producing knowledge. And it seems like a complete anathema, right? Like, why would you stop doing that? And I think that understanding the relationship between the knowledge and the process of inquiry and technology becomes really, really important, especially when you look at the work that's being done to justify violent technologies by virtue of the research or the databases that they're able to like create for us, right? Because there's almost like this like cost benefit analysis, right? Like for the better good, right? So you can take all of this biometric data, but we're going to use that data to then create these amazing like medical technologies that are going to solve everything from aging to like you having a bad day. So for the better good, right? We need to continue to inquire. We need to continue to create these databases and we need to continue to create this research, right? And it's changing our relationship to inquiry. I remember I saw this paper that was circulated a couple of months ago about using Unit 731 data for COVID research, COVID purposes, right? And for those who are unfamiliar, like that was data that was procured during World War II in like a concentration camp through the torture of human beings. So, and the US federal government gave immunity to just because they got access to the data, right? So they were like, people were not held accountable to war crimes. So we're entering this phase of our relationship to research and knowledge. We're like, is concentration data, camp data okay in a world where we can use it for the common good, right? And it was a moment of pause where you're like, is that where we're at now? Is that where ethics of research and inquiry is at? Because we're literally washing away war crimes and using this heuristic of like for the better good in order to do so. So I think that one of the things technology is doing right now is changing our relationship to inquiry, right? It's creating this situation where we're saying like, we're going to use your Muslim Pro app to surveil you and things like that in order to give you better location information on where you can pray. But we're also going to sell that data, and then it's going to be used to kill people who resemble you in other parts of the world, right? So that kind of confrontation, I think, is really, really important. And it feeds into the second question, which is like, what can communities be doing? A lot of the things that communities are doing, like the one answer to this is a descriptive answer, right? Because a lot of things, a lot of the innovations that are happening in this domain, communities are already doing. They're creating the coalitions, right? Legal innovations are happening, and they're doing it like in many, many different ways in diverse local contexts. And it's like really wonderful to see. And speaking from a position of quote unquote expertise to give prescriptions to communities, oftentimes is like counterproductive because they're doing that work of building resilience and safety already. And local solutions are much more productive to them. But the one prescriptive solution I would give is we need to create an understanding of these technologies that is collective. A lot of times we have individual responses and relationships to our technologies. Like my phone is my device, right? But the harm that they enact are very, very much collective. These are networked devices, right? So for instance, if you are going to a protest, right, and you decide not to do basic surveillance, like risk actions to protect yourself, you're not just putting yourself at risk, you are literally putting your fellow protesters at risk. You are putting your community at risk. You're putting the entire contact chain of your phone at risk, right? And understanding the collective nature of that threat, I think is going to be something that all communities need to start like really, really orienting themselves towards, because this idea that like, I didn't do anything, I just like continuously consumed a technology that was then weaponized by somebody else, if that orientation towards technology isn't going to be sustainable anymore. You need to start to realize that even your very, very singular local consumption of technology is creating a weapon that is then creating like horrendous crimes around the world and within the United States. And there has to be a moral reckoning there. So collectivizing our responsibility and recognizing that like these are network technologies that have network impacts, I think is going to be something that communities have to start orienting themselves towards, and treating safety as a collective responsibility.